Welcome everyone to episode 18 of our Let's Play, and today I have two major things that I would like to tackle. One of them is actually in this area right here, is I would like to start working on some cleric villagers, because I have just gathered more redstone than I think I ever have in one sitting, and it was the worst thing I have ever done. So, I have 3 cleric villagers that ended up doing me for a few more stacks of redstone at the end of that, but overall, I never want to do that again. So, that is the first thing that I would like to do today. And the second thing that I would like to do today is actually crack down on the mothership and work on that cargo bay. And that is what I have needed all that redstone for, is that cargo bay. I will run the numbers for you real quick, because I have them right here. So, what I like to do is that I have created a whole system in my Lightmatica menus of having modular redstone builds that I have made in my creative world, one of which is my 2 modular builds of redstone sorting systems. One of them is a double-decker sorting system for single items, where you just have 2 chests on top of each other, and then it's a sorting system, but then I stacked 2 of them on top of each other so that vertical space actually utilizes more chests and more sorting area. So that's one of them. And the other one is what I've been calling my triple silo, where I use a silo technique for auto sorting, and I put that 3 side by side, so one module is actually 3 silos. And these are the numbers. Okay, chests 1,638, or approximately 26 stacks. Hoppers 2,034, or approximately 32 stacks. Comparators 486, or approximately 8 stacks. Repeaters 432, which is 7 stacks. Torches, 378, which is 6 stacks. Redstone, 1,134, which is 18 stacks. Redstone lamps, 180, which is 3 stacks. And finally, 18 barrels. That's a lot of redstone. And yeah, so the whole point of this is I need cleric villagers, and like a lot of them, because this was painful and I never want to do it again, because I will be needing redstone for the duration of this entire series, which is probably going to be very long. Let's roll the clip. Okay, we are here, and you're probably asking, DJ, where is here? Here is on the path around this corner here, and specifically this nether portal, because this is going to be the sort of center point of our new installations of hab centers. And this is because it is the first spot that a nether portal will correctly line up, that kind of gives us a midpoint between over there by the windmill and up there by the mothership. And so that kind of makes it just easier to get to the different places, right? So putting it here, as well as it follows along the path going around here. And the other thing that I want to do while I am at this project is to bubble in this path here and put it up against the kind of cliff face here, because once again I do want them to kind of coexist, but also look like they're slowly getting more improved architecture as we go along. We kind of go from looking like a spaceship to looking like more of a settlement. So this next tab center is going to be a little bit more spaceship-like. I'm also thinking I want to add something on top of here, because I really don't like this harsh corner. It bothers me, and I don't know why. I put it there originally because I kind of figured that they kind of just like dug out this spot with like some sort of tool that just made a hole, but now I don't really like it. So I think I'm going to change it. And yeah, so I think we are going to go along here, and why don't we hop to my drawing, because I have been working through some sketches for the builds this episode, and I am quite happy with them. So why don't we go and do that right now? That was a bit more of my broadcaster voice. Clearly me and that character are not too separated. Okay, now. While I was working on this, both drawing and building, I started doing some thinking. A lot of you actually seem interested in the story, so when I build stuff like this, I'm gonna tell y'all a little story to go along with it. Here is the first entry that you guys will be hearing of the broadcaster's audio log. Okie dokie, we are rolling. This is audio log 245, universe I talk a lot. Like I said, audio log 245, type C, magnetosphere project comms director. Today, construction has rounded the crater bend, and I was able to visit the new orange section. Since the recent oxygen poisoning cases on Deck 4, it was decided that this section would be a clinic. The infirmary on the mothership was tested this week. However, in light of a new module opening, here is a rundown on the new section in a completely factual and unbiased manner. Upon entering the orange module, it immediately smelled of isopropyl. I guess that's kind of expected, but I really hope it doesn't carry upstairs. And that is because there are living pods up there. The new clinic has a more open concept vibe than infirmaries on major expedition astroships like the mothership up here. Her medical bay is sealed up tight. You can only smell the isopropyl when the doors open. I guess we don't really need to spend time and resources sealing up the clinic because the little atmo we do have isn't like instantly deadly like the vacuum of space. Right, construction log? Yes, construction log. The upper floor can house 12 individuals comfortably, but there are 18 bed spaces for lockdown protocols or larger families. The largest rooms can house up to 4 people. As of recent O2 incidents, each room has been given its own atmo filter, so pods are constantly monitored and adjusted to the residents' environmental settings. Enviro cards can be acquired on Deck 3 in the atrium as always. Okay, today, honestly, I think my TL is trying to hint at me to move out into the living pods, but I really like my quarters. Technically, nobody can make me leave until my contract needs to be renewed, and I hope by that point the pods are either better or we've got atmo. If I had to pick one of the orange module pods, however, I'd probably go with E because it's private. It's super tiny because it's on that corner, so it can only house one person, but I am fine with tiny if that means it's mine. Okay, what do we got? Got crater band, yeah, O2, poisoning, living pod, walkthroughs, and, clinic, right, that is what we're here for, clinic, yes, okay. Med duties will be split across the mothership and the clinic. If you are looking for a specific doctor, check the staff portal. Otherwise, both are equally qualified. I'd honestly just go to whichever is closest to you. They're same. Okay, alrighty, that is the end of my list here. Calling end of audio log 245, type C, magnetosphere project comms director. Out. Okay, it is the next day for me, and I would like to give you a little walkthrough to talk about the actual logistics of the build rather than the in-world kind of idea. So I decided to make this the cleric villager spot, right? And that is because for some reason, I've always thought that like the cleric villagers were like the doctors in the village. I don't know why. Maybe because they give like XP bottles and like XP heals things? I don't know. But yeah, that's what I was going for with this build. And then I wanted to try to make like these like little curtain dividers here. There are like huge gaps, but there wasn't really much I could do about that, so that's what we've got. And then in the back here, I just kind of threw in some shelves. I also wanted to do like that kind of rafter idea that you see in a lot of like hospitals. And then going around, oh yeah, this is like a waiting room kind of thing, I think, with like the seats and benches and stuff. Oh, also I got a new keyboard, so if it's like really clicky for this episode, I won't really know that until I watch the footage, so I can switch back to my other keyboard if it is really clicky. Up here are the actual rooms. Each one is actually unique. They're all slightly different. So this is one of them, and then I have beds kind of behind these dividers. And like a little loft bed up there. Oh, also, I have been using the invisible item frame mod that I installed to make these like little sugar jars. I thought it was pretty cool. And I'm loving this back texture of the shelves. That's pretty neat. These three are, sorry neighbor. These three are actually quite similar. They're different shelf-wise and like the bed area. But the main kitchen area are all pretty similar except for these bookshelves. And this right here is the kind of climate control module that I was talking about as the broadcaster. It is just like something that I kind of threw together. I'm like, that looks vaguely sci-fi mechanical, like it does something. And that's not something that you would find in a regular house. So this kind of indicates that this is not a regular house. And then up here, I've got the beds, and I wanted to make these kind of like sliding dividers here, so I have like them stacked on top of each other. Like this one can kind of push that way, but like this one's locked into the side. Yeah. And then these dividers here are like just decorative shelving units. And then I did the same thing over here, but this is only one bed, so this slides as well. And I'm also really loving these table designs with like the glass and then the carpet. This is like a nice little conversation pit. I'm quite happy with it. This person has a cat. Awesome. I didn't put that there. That just kind of spawned there from the villagers downstairs. Yeah, and then this is very similar. Same kind of idea. Yeah. This is also supposed to be like the range hood, I feel like. Yeah, these ones are all pretty similar. This last one is E, which is the one that the broadcaster was talking about. Yeah, it's nice and tiny. I like it. It's got a slightly different climate module because A, it didn't fit, but the lower reason is that since it's small, it doesn't need the extra support for the single resident. And okay, honestly, I think I just want to get right into our next task of the day. And actually, I didn't really film this bit because it wasn't very interesting, but I did just kind of extend this tunnel around here. I'm gonna like decorate this spot maybe with like a little cafe kind of thing. Like within the tunnels, there's like small kiosks and stuff. Same with what the broadcaster was talking about, was that things are oriented by color. Is that there's different sections of colors, so there will be up to 16 sections of this tunnel system, because there's 16 wool colors, and therefore it's 16 carpet colors. And that's because that's where the lighting is under the carpet. And then I just have this kind of like decoration along here. This is something that I've been doing throughout the entire thing, and that is because it reminds me of an apartment building that my friend lived in forever ago, that the downstairs area had like this kind of striped thing going on, and it looked kind of sci-fi and weird, like, you know, the like kind of diesel punk idea. That's kind of what that basement looked like. Yeah, so I think off camera I'm gonna continue tunneling in this area here and fixing this, because I hate this. This was really just to try to light it up while I was making it survival accessible. Because I was having one hell of a time trying to get up there before I put the nether portal in. And I want everything to connect properly. So I'm gonna do something about these lights and then tunnel in all of this zone so that you can actually walk from one side of the world to the other. Oh, also, at time of recording, episode 14 has just come out. I'm currently working on a backlog of episodes because I am going on vacation soon, so by the time that you are hearing this, I will not be at home. I will be elsewhere. So we are back at the mothership. Actually, I did have to take out the armor stand mod. The armor stand still stayed for some reason, I'm not sure why. But I did need to take that out because when I went into FreeCam, it just kind of broke replay mod, which is obviously very important for what I do. So, we might not be doing any more armor stands in the future, but I do have the invisible item frames still, which are useful for like that sugar thing that I did. And this is the room of materials that I gathered for this build. This was the worst. I hated this. Yeah, and all of the chests that were making the chests and the hoppers were from tearing down all of these trees on this mountain, because remember, this mountain used to be like a mega taiga, right? Not anymore. This is what it is now. It is a giant spaceship now. So, I would like to start by building the atrium. And I talked about the atrium for about 0.2 seconds in the audio log. The atrium is something that I've been wanting to build for a while. It's something that I've had in my brain and in my creative test world. I have like a whole bunch of different mothership designs lined up next to each other in my creative test world. Kind of just working out what I want it to look like on the inside. I also have like a painted exterior as well, with like just using brushes from World Edit. But the thing that I talked about is the atrium, which I would like to build now. And I did some sketches for this one as well, kind of what I was thinking about doing. And I'm very happy with this. I think it looks really neat, and I am excited to share it with you guys. It's got some interesting features that I want to nerd out about after the time-lapse. And I also did some designs for the bridge, which is going to be up here. It's extremely inspired by the original Enterprise from the 1960s Star Trek, which I've been open about is a huge inspiration for a lot of the builds here. And I actually developed a sort of really interesting to me technique that I am dying to show you guys. I don't want to spoil too much of what it is yet. I haven't seen anybody else do it. If I'm wrong about that, whatever. But I think it's pretty unique and cool, and I'm so excited to share it with you guys. But first, let's dive into building the atrium. Hi, first things first, here's a little unscripted moment here while I am doing this drawing. Is that I wanted to say that I got very carried away, and I actually ended up building the bridge in this episode, which I wasn't intending to do, but I got really excited. And so now we have the bridge as well, which I will be diving into in a minute. And I'd also like to add some more lore segment to this, so if you're sick of that, sorry, this is the channel that you're on now, so, you know, enjoy, I hope. As far as I'm aware, you guys have been enjoying me yapping about my little passion project, and not to self-promo, but I am gonna self-promo. If you like my writing style, please go check out Upturn Valley. It's my main project. I spend hours and hours and hours on it, so that is on Webtoon if you'd like to find that. It's got a link in the description. Okay, let's get to the lore. This is Audio Log 4, Type R-Magnetosphere Project Comms Junior. Hello, this is the Junior Comms Director on the Magnetosphere Project Mothership. I'm here to make a record for the first few days of our voyage. This is the recreation log of the Mothership Atrium. On Deck 3, you'll find the atrium. This is where the holomap is present. One may observe the current status of Ganymede from here. The research team has been regularly updating our view of the planet so we have the best understanding of our new home. Here is also where our 4 history plaques are found, holding pictured information on our species and culture. Due to being at the center of the mothership, gravity in the atrium is severely reduced. Please remember your gravity precautions when moving up or down a deck. It is also recommended to keep children under 10 on a tether when in low-gravity zones. The main public terminals are found on the outer edges of the atrium, which do abide by gravity due to their exterior walls. These terminals may be used to update enviro chips, entertainment screen cards, staff badge permissions if clearance is given, and recode, keycard access, etc. These records are kept in both civilian and staff terminals, along with the records bay on Deck 1 for redundancy. End of Audio Log 4, Type R-Magnetosphere Project Comms Junior. Okay. This is Audio Log 45, Type W-Magnetosphere Project Comms Junior. I can't can't believe TL let me do this. This is my first waypoint log. Okay. We've landed. Mothership has arrived on Ganymede and have touched down southeast of the cyanobacteria crater Farm Delta. I'm standing on the bridge with the captain, second, engineer, and head comms director. We are putting the mothership into sleep. Any further trips in and out of Ganymede will be made by commercial grade and lower ships. All power diverted to environmental and medical systems. Bridge powering down. We are home. End of audio log 45, type W, Magnetosphere Project Comms Jr. Hello, it has been a long time for me since I have last been in front of the mic, so hi again. It was no time for you, but since that time lapse, it's been about 2 weeks for me. I have been out of the country in Austria, so I am back now. Problem is, however, this does mark an unfortunate point of my posting schedule will now be very, very messed up for the foreseeable future because I am gonna get very busy very quickly. So I'd like to apologize in advance for my weekly posting schedule going in the toilet quite soon. I wanted to say that I love you guys, and I really hope that you stick around. I've been getting some mixed love on my most recent videos, but I am very appreciative of every single one of you, and I hope that you stick around during my unfortunate posting nightmare. Basically, what's happening is I am currently taking a biology course to buff up my upcoming course program thing. I'm going to college, and right now I am doing an extra credit over the summer to beef up my course load for the upcoming semester, so I will be very busy, and I will not be posting as often. But aside from that, I am here to give you a yap on what just happened. So, as you can see behind me during that little yap is the screen that I made, and I am so proud of this thing. I have no idea if I invented this or not. If I didn't, whatever. If I did, that's kind of cool. Is behind this, not stained glass, tinted glass, is dark oak signs. As you can see, dark oak signs with glow ink on the front. And I did that a few times in my creative world. I was trying to figure out the best way to put the letters on the screen, and I am super happy with this. For those wondering, the boxes and stuff are like special characters that you can use in Minecraft. I found them on the Hypixel website. They have ones that you can like copy and paste. And yeah, the only thing that I'm kind of upset about is that I haven't figured out a way to make that last cursor blink. Because if you're wondering, that is a cursor. You know, like on those old text files, right? I am old enough to have used that quite regularly. I just forget what it's called, like note taker or something. Yeah, it's basically just text on the black background, or blue, depending on which you chose. And the little cursor blinks, which is the same as like Google Docs and stuff. I actually use Obsidian for most of my writing, for this story and for Upturn Valley, but yeah, it blinks and it just looks extra cool, but I don't know how to do that right now. I think at the end of this episode I'm gonna put in like a little animated segment, because this is a heavy lore episode, and probably judging by the title that I'm gonna use, and you've already seen this in the thumbnail. So I am quite excited about this. This is the bridge. Obviously, I haven't even gotten to that. These are supposed to be like little screens that are like interactive. It actually reminds me of, there's a restaurant that we've gone to a couple times, me and my family, that have like these tables that are actually screens. It's kind of cool. Little weird and cyberpunky, but also kind of cool. And then you can see that I obviously took some heavy inspiration from the original Enterprise for this setup. I take a lot of inspiration from the OG and also Enterprise C for some of my more sci-fi elements of this. And then there's just like a huge gap in between where I'm gonna put the storage area. There's gonna be storage here and then on the other side of the atrium as well. So up here is one of the biggest headaches that I've done in this thing, maybe aside from tearing down the tree search lab, the original. So I wandered around for, I think, 2 hours mapping. These are level 1 maps, so they're just regular maps that you get straight out of clicking. And every now and then I will procedurally update this one, because none of these are locked, like the ones down in the hab centers. So, here is our atrium, and it's pretty self-explanatory. It's just kind of pretty. I like it. It's nice. The only thing that I kind of wanted to talk about was these really crappy renditions of the gold records. I was really inspired by, like, the... Oh, there's a block missing. By the, like... Ah, man, it's slipping my mind right now. It was on the Pioneer. I can't remember what they're called, but they're, like, gold. And there's, like, a whole bunch of human evolution and history etched into them as kind of a branch reaching out to any other life that might find the Pioneer space probe. I think it's the Pioneer 10 or 11. One of the two. I am a space nerd, but I only have so much room in my brain, and unfortunately some of it is being taken up by biology right now. I mean, biology's cool. I like it. For those wondering, I switched out of geoscience, and I am in biotechnology currently, which is kind of like microbiology. It's, yeah, if anyone's interested, which I don't know if you are. But if you are, there's the information. And yeah, so that's kind of what I wanted to do with these. I didn't have a lot of room, so we've got, like, the sun, and I tried for a tree on this side. This was just supposed to be, like, words of some sort, like, kind of hinting at, like, some sort of, like, hieroglyphic writing. And then over here is supposed to be, like, a planet with a ring. It's probably the least obvious one. But it all gets the point across, I feel like. Decent enough. And I wanted the walls to match as well, so this is also done with the copper, just like the bridge over there. And also, just as a thing, between some building and everything, before I left for the airport, I had pretty much all of my stuff packed. So all I had was my computer. I couldn't do any drawing or anything. So I just spent my time waiting to go to the airport, filling in the glass on this that I was talking about. I made this into, like, a little environmental area. I don't know. Oh, it's missing a green block as well. Yeah, this is what it looks like. It's just like some grass and greenery in the middle. Just kind of like some sort of environmental little sensory room. I don't know. This also isn't finished because I ran out of glass, but I'm gonna completely glass in this whole thing. Because despite having nether highways, I do really like to connect up all of my builds with roads, or in this case, these sort of like tunnels. Just because it gives me like an obvious path to build along. The nether highways are great for going like to the desert and stuff. That's great, but I do really like having these tunnels. Also right here, I have a map box, so this has maps in them that correspond to the maps up there. I made 2 of each. One goes on the floor, and then one goes in these barrels near where they map out, so that I can just hold them, and then it generates the map. And also here I think I want to put like a little kiosk of some sort, because it's kind of empty. And yeah, I think you've seen all of this. This is the only new segment. Yeah. Alright, honestly, unfortunately, I think I'm gonna need to call it there, because I'm having another one of those situations where I have plans, but they're too big to do in the last, like, 8-9 minutes of this episode. So I think this is gonna be a 20-minuter. At least I think it's coming out to 20 minutes. So, yeah, why don't I go and do our episode 18 maps, and I will be right back to show you the final product there. And also, if you'd like a little animation, please stay until after the outro, because I'm gonna add a little lore segment without talking. It's just gonna be a little simple animation, and I'd appreciate it if you took a look. So, let's get to the outro. Alright, here is the map. I think that it is pretty established that I just keep doing the maps on my own because it's kind of ridiculous to have you guys come along with me every single time. Because it's almost exactly the same every time. So here is our episode 18 map. And one more thing before I let y'all go is that I think I want to try upping my production value again, because if you've seen my last music update video, that should have been the video before this one, my OST is out, as well as I make my own music now, so the music in the background is music produced by myself. And I think I would like to try adding a little bit more of my art to this series as well, because I do want to show that this is an art series more than it's a Minecraft series. I want to combine my two favorite hobbies, which are Minecraft and drawing, but I feel like me as a creator is definitely more of an illustrator than I am a Minecraft creator. I do struggle quite a bit with talking to the camera in gameplay form, so I want to try adding as much artwork as I can. This episode was pretty artwork heavy for me, which was great. I really liked how this story segment went, and by the end of episode 20, I will be putting out a brand new lore episode discussing my thoughts and recapping for those who are new to my series. Unfortunately, my views have been dropping a little bit recently, which kind of sucks, but I really appreciate those of you that come back to watch my episodes. I am really low. Watch my episodes every single time that I post. I appreciate it a lot, and I hope to see you again. So if you would like to see a little bit more of my art this episode, please stick around after the outro to see a little animation that I did of the bridge. So thank you, and I hope to see you in the next one, whenever that may be. If you want updates, please follow me on Instagram, and I will be updating a lot more there. I haven't quite figured out how to use the community tab on YouTube yet. It doesn't seem to let me post. I think that's because I don't have 500 subscribers yet, but so if you want updates, please go over to Instagram. I will stop yapping now and leave you to the animation. Bye!